Hey everyone, it's your favorite Dr. Zora, and today we're going to go over the new changes to the map split that just got added into Valorant in patch 2.01. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I also stream on Twitch, so make sure to follow me there as well for additional live stream content. Now onto the video, we're going to start off at B Garage. The B Garage choke point has now been widened, thus giving attackers much more space to push through to the site. This is a great addition, as originally B Garage was a death trap, as defenders could easily spray it down to grab some easy kills. This will be much harder to do now, along with the added container to the left side where players could dash over or teleport to get an additional angle to engage in duels. More importantly though, this position gives attackers a spot to throw utility onto the B site itself, thus allowing them to apply more pressure. The choke point is still short enough that one smoke, molotov, or sage wall can block it off though, so there are still options for defenders to hold this area off while still giving attackers a better chance of pushing through. Next, we have a trash pile that's been added to the corner of B main. This takes away the sharp angle that attackers originally had to check for, but also gives defenders more options to aggressively defend the B site. You can get on top of this pile for a surprise angle onto Garage, or you can use the pile to jump onto the first container in the corner that you originally couldn't get onto without abilities. Moving on, we have an added staircase onto the B site, and the spike plant zone has now been expanded to allow you to plant in this area. Originally, B Garage was a poor position to defend a plant, as you couldn't actually see the spike. Now this additional plant spot makes B Garage a much more viable option. However, planting here can be very risky, as players in heaven or rafters could punish you if the position is not sufficiently covered. Lastly, on the B site itself, they've added a new material stack that allows attackers to isolate angles more effectively. There's a lot of angles to check for on the right side of B when pushing through Garage, and this does help to narrow those angles a bit more. This also gives an extra hiding spot for defenders on site that have lost heaven control though, so it's helping both sides out. So while it does help attackers push Garage, it does give some extra assistance against a potential heaven push by the attackers. These next changes have drastically reduced the number of angles that you have to peek when pushing through choke points. They've taken away angles at defender spawn as well as in vents, and by doing so, there's now less areas to check when pushing through as an attacker, and you no longer have to go for those 50-50 peaks. This is a fantastic update, as there were just way too many of these cheeky positions that players can hide in. Now the fights are going to be much more even, and you don't have to make those 180-degree turns to check multiple angles when pushing through these areas, which was very annoying to do. I'm sure you guys can definitely agree with me on that. They also adjusted the CUBBY in sewers to make it easier to peek as well. Players can still hide here though without their gun being exposed, so you still have to be cautious of this position. However, there won't be any options for an off angle now that the CUBBY has been made smaller. Now onto the spicy A site. A tower has now gone through a huge revamp. The doorway has been widened similar to B Garage, which opened up the attackers for a more effective push. With this added space, it's going to be much more tempting for attackers to try to take over towers and creating a split push onto A. They've also created a wall at an angle to the right, again taking away a cheeky position that players can be in. Similarly, the sloped wall has been adjusted on the A site so it can be peeked and cleared on top of rafters, and defenders no longer have to drop down to the site itself in order to check it. Likewise, they've adjusted the wall near screens so that defenders can push out more effectively to check elbow without having to sharply turn to the right to check that corner. There's still enough space for a player to hide in the back wall, but they'll be much more exposed to rafters now, plus players in screens can now safely check elbow and then clear this angle afterwards rather than trying to clear both at once. While most of the changes thus far appear to be for the benefit of the attackers, these changes are definitely to the advantage of the defenders. That's all we have for this video. What do you guys think about these changes? Personally, I think this is going to add a much more enjoyable experience on Split, as there are less annoying positions that players can be in, and the fights are going to be much more even. Again, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and comment your thoughts on the new Split map. It's your favorite Dr. Zora, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.